as you can tell. Okay, this is trying to be an update, which took me so long because I don't have much time to do any tests, so I only achieved to do one proper test. As you can tell, here is the stuff. Actually, I brought this up from my boot room. I don't know if it's called like that. I mean, there is I tried to spin the motor without shaft with only just one Anaheim. That's my first test. As you can see, here is the sensors. I put it in a very rough way, and my says they weren't fixed at all, but I achieved to make the rotor, how to say it, it was like rumbling around. It wasn't spinning smoothly, okay, but it was spinning. So there wasn't shaft as I am trying to do, and with just 1.5 and my 240 from my wall transferred to 125, like it says here, more or less, it didn't rotate it properly. But I still thinking, if I connect another controller putting twice the power with some diodes, I think it will make a difference. So maybe by overpowering it, I achieved to run it smoothly without what was happening exactly was the rotor was touching or collisioning, I don't know how to say, from each push the coils did. I don't know, it was the magnets touched the faces, right, physically. So it was there was too many resistance there. It just was crashing. So what happened exactly is I tied this stator is tightened to this piece of body material. Is called DM, and it's just like wood, a cheap wood, mixing with glue shit, and I tied this with pins. This is one that fall off actually because of the vibration. I have those nuts and washer to hold it in place, and what happened, it was by the rumbling and the crashing of the rotor with very some power, because this motherfucker controller is quite, it was power. So it was vibrating too much, and my fucking nuts pulled off, went off, and this screw fall apart, but nothing of happening. It just was a little while, and well, that was my experiment so far. For now, what I can say more is I wanted to say, yeah, the wiring, I'm sure the faces were connected in the correct way, because I achieved to inverse the rotation, the rumbling rotation of it. I could reverse it, so I think the faces were connected and good. because otherwise the Anaheim says that you're not able to achieve proper inversion of the rotation, right? And I did it, but it was just rambling because there was no shaft and not enough power uh, or dropped the power, the frequency needed to run it smoothly without shaft. Okay. Other things that I tried for 2 weeks or so running um, this other automation on my computer. I told you this is like it can do timing things and that. And it has 24 volts output. I told you about it before, but what happened is it's just supposed to be connected to the computer with just one fucking cable, and my computer with the software didn't understood it was fucking connected. Okay, I had I am not able to make to make them realize there is the fucking computer or there is the device connected to it. I tried it. I always keep trying, but I almost think I'm pretty sure I'm gonna buy the same, but from other trademark. I think that is Kinko, and I will buy another one, maybe Siemens or so. Never mind. It's just because I think it will be easy to receive more info and how to connect it, because it was supposed to be just simple as connect a wire. Okay, that was all the experiments for now. I'm so ashamed, kinda upset about that, because it's a struggle. I don't have too much time on my own to do anything. But well, after watching your last videos, I was thinking about the controller, and the only thing I have to say is that I don't find any ordinary device components like you mentioned MOSFET, your transistors in your video. I don't think MOSFET will hold with higher voltages, like even 100 volt. I don't know. They don't work like that. I think. Just I figured that controlling will be possible for the three phases of the motor. Let's say those three here are for each phase of the washing machine motor, and I'm supposing that this here is your generator, right, which provides like nearly, let's say, 300 volts. You can achieve that. You have generators. There is the fucking wall too, so let's say there is the but it needs to be a direct current, right? Don't piss me off. I forget about the wall. Let's say you have your generators providing 300 volts, right? Yeah, then just like your drum motor's rotor is stamped with those 300 volts. So I'm figuring out the only way we can time that is by 3 slashers, like you showed you were working on a slasher for your own. It was that cylinder with a part of copper and another part plastic, so there was a on and off connection, and it was determined by the timing of another rotary device, another motor attached to it. So I think that will be very, how to say, very garbagey way to achieve it, but it should work, right? So let's say you time those motors from each slasher, right? And you say you want you have to make a simple calculation from each moment you want the faces to be opened or closed. It will be dividing the magnets and the faces from which time each face should be opened, right? I haven't done it yet. Let's say there were let me check. There were some, I don't know if there were 6 or 12 blocks of magnets, right, in the rotor. So you have to divide from the open and close timing in the slashers that will give you uh, the timing you should program the motors of the slashers. Alright, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12. Okay, here I got 12, but I think these ones weren't like the one you showed. These were 3 magnets, I think, instead 4. Well, whatever. The thing is, you time each slasher, right? You got to time each slasher just to act. Let's say the milliseconds between each open and close of the slashers will match with the results you will get from the washing machine motor. It's very easy to figure out, right? I try to explain myself better. Let's say you put 100 RPM in each slasher. It will have to be timed from one third each. So let's say if this is the slasher, right? All the slashers are the same. Let's say you have a slasher number 1, right? And then the slasher number 2 should be made like 1/3 beyond the slasher 1, and the slasher 3 should be 2/3 beyond the slasher number 1. So this way, from each rotation, if the 3 motors of the slashers are synchronized, then you have this third timing, this 1/3 timing each. So this timing should okay, let's say you have 100 RPMs in each slasher, right? So if the slasher is half the whole round open and the other half is closed, for saying something, right? So there will be let's say another numbers. Let's say 60 RPM, right? Each slasher. So you will have one second, half a second. Half a second will be opened and half a second will be closed, right? if you keep that to another numbers, it should make this is motor spin. I don't know, I haven't done any number yet, but I will do it just after this recording, and we'll see if it matches. Okay, if not, you only have to increase the open and close timing of each slasher, right? You don't have to have just half of each slasher opened. It can be, let's say, 8 times open and 8 times closed, so that you increase the frequency each slasher can provide. So for the same RPMs, you will have those times the frequency of the shutting. I mean, of the opened and closed timings. So I don't know if it can make if it keeps like a feeding of 300 volts or so. I don't know if it should make arcs, so it could damage the circuit, right? Because if it's rotating, I don't know if it will make a ring of fire, as you called. Um, I'm trying to prevent that only. I don't have any fucking idea. But sorry, but I think this is a funny way to achieve it. I tell you, electronics. I don't have any experience about electronics. I'm. I just were trying to learn about vacuum tubes because I thought, and I thought they were oh shit there. They were old technology. They were when Tesla times, and they were sorry, and they were like many applications, right? They were they say there are amplifiers, there are diodes, radio transmitter. What the heck was that? What the heck is that? But I don't know. I thought it was the appliances of a transistor too, and it's just a cathode, right? Let's say it's just like a spark gap, but a vacuum spark gap with a grid in between. It's just another wire, but it has the shape of the grid, right? Between. So when there is power or there is vacuum in that wire from the grid between the two vacuum spark gaps, there is the third one between, and when they apply voltage or they suck voltage from it, it makes the communication available between the other two. That's the way transistors works for me, right? It's just a third wire which determines if the other two are conducting or not. I try to investigate what about if those components, vacuum tubes, were available or were supposed to work like that, like I think. So I thought they were like a transistors for high voltage, not like MOSFET. MOSFET are those little transistors, integrated circuits. There is no way, in my understanding, there is no way the high current and low voltage current that a circuit board is usually supposed to do, right? How with that you gonna sequence a higher voltage, like even 200 volts? It's no way. You have the circuits like the sensors from the Anaheim. Those work on 5 volt, and they are sequencing 40 volts each phase, right? Like that controller. You have 5 volts managing to sequence 40. Okay. 5 times, how many are they? 8 times. You are, with 5 volts, you are achieving to manage 8 times the phases. So to manage higher voltage, I think you will need those, at least that ratio, but just supposing that. But all the components for all the other parts from the circuit should be on higher voltage too. And that's what I think I'm not able to find. I'm not expert. I don't know about electronics so far, but I haven't seen it. I mean, shitty electronics I know. It's yes, this kind of thing, right? As everybody has seen. So I don't know electronics of higher voltages. I thought those vacuum tubes could be the answer to high voltage uh, transistors, like those MOSFET in those electronics they call have. But this old technology is so hidden today. I don't know. I saw a video of a guy. It shows a huge. Instead, I can show you it. It is called, as you can see, the series vacuum tube and amps part. And this guy is showing a whole of those tubes, right? And he says that big one at the end, you can see it, is used in the industry, in a radio industry, radio transmission industry, and that's huge. And I think that works on high voltage. So that's the only point I'm adding to the controller, because I think if there was such a something like a transmitter for a transistor for high voltage, it could do the work too, to make a controller for this type of motors to run on high voltage. But I'm just scratching on this, right? I haven't got any idea to find any of those tubes. I only had in my hand a vacuum tube of a old tube TV, the big box TV. Those carries a vacuum tube of the screen, and that's the only one I know I can do tests on. But I repeat you, I haven't got a whole lot of time. And this I just spent all the night welding those sensors to to the Anheims. I don't know. I think I pretty much said all what I wanted to say. Just the point is that about the slashers. I think that's just okay. Let's do it. It's just that immediately wait. I'm gonna do the calculation to determine the divisions and the speed the slashers should turn to achieve certain RPMs of the washing machine motor, right? For now, sorry mate, I think yes, the shaft is needed for now, but I think and I'll keep trying to achieve the proper current to make it run without shaft. But it has to, maybe the design is not the most proper design to run without shaft. I think maybe it would be better if it has more phases, so the pulses are more more frequent, and there's not so much jump between each push from each phase until the next one, right? Because it pushes and it smashes the magnets smashes the phases before the next push. So it needs that motor will run on higher frequency and higher maybe higher volts too. And another thing I wanted to add, if maybe if this doesn't encourage you too much, I mean it doesn't make you too much nervous, but let's say the rotor is like this as I draw you. This will be a very quiet high quality motor, I think. Let's say this is the outrunner as I draw in other video, and this is supposed to have no shaft, but you can add here, you can add more. This is only for future purposes, okay? This is, I think, a futuristic motor. You can add more. Let's say this is a secondary rim, okay? This is another outrunner. You can still make more attached to the same hollow shaft, right? So this motor will have a torque like incredible, right? I don't know, this could be a super powerful, and and the shaft will be tiny in comparison. I don't know. It's just to show you what my fucking head is at, or what my head is, where my thoughts are at the moment. Okay, I think this is the worst video I have done, but yes, the best idea I can transmit to you is that about the slashers. That will be sequenced. I'm gonna go to the calculations and then maybe upload this video for you, okay? And see you soon. I didn't blow myself. Uh, um, I, for now, I still good. So that's it. I don't see the time to cut up. Well, see you soon, man.